Hi, it's me again with CorelDraw Tips and Tricks. Somebody sent me this picture of a feather and what they've done through Photograve, and it looks pretty good. I don't know what what Photograve material they were gonna use, but I'm trying to help them get rid of that white background because if we look, if we got the color eyedropper tool, it's a CMYK, and some CMYKs in some lasers will engrave. So we need to take this. Two things about this picture, and I'm pretty sure he didn't take it. He's got a customer that took it for him. Try to take your picture where there's not a glob of white reflection. You know, use a dull piece of white paper, lay it on the floor where there's no light, and then zoom in. But other than that, what we're going to do with it selected, you've got to have it selected. We're going to crop out all that part. It's going to give us some trouble. You do want to make sure you get it all. Then we're going to go crop and crop. Now, I'm going to go up to bitmap and turn this into a grayscale. Now, for just a second, I'm going to Control C to copy that, but then I'm going to delete it. I don't want anything else on the page, and I'm going to hit F4, and you see that's the only thing on the page. I'm going to go to export, and I'm going to export. I've already done this, so I'm going to do it again, but I'm just going to call it Feather 3 Gray. And I'm going to export it as a JPEG. There's a couple of JPEGs in here. One of them is JPEG2. This is JPEG with a G. You want to export it as that and go export. I put it on my desktop, so it'll be easy to find here. Now I'm going to go to Photograve, and you can see I've already done it. I'm going to X out of there and start a new one. I'm going to open the image, and there's my Feather Gray. I'm going to open it. I am going to go up to select materials, and he did say he's going to do it on some slate, some brass, and some glass. There is glass. I don't know about the brass. You're going to basically, I don't know. I've never done, you know, there's black laser brass, but that's totally different. You know, there's really just no, because most brass, most CLT lasers aren't going to engrave them anyway. So you might have to do it with like a Ceramark or an Enduromark. But we're going to go with black granite because he did mention a slate. And I'm going to say, okay, now I'm going to resize it because I only want 300 dots per inch. Now I'm going to go to the, you know, I used to play around with the interactive mode, but Photograve got it figured out. I'm just going to go to Final Process, and then I'm going to go to Save Image and put Engraved, and it's going to put it back on the desktop. And now I'm going to open Corel back up, and I can actually paste my other feather back in there, and I can import my Feather 3 engineered engraved. Now, the most important thing you can do is right now is hit P, put it in the center of the page, put your other feather, they're going to be exactly the same size. I don't know if this is his setting or I'm using somebody else's, but please set your duplicate distance to 0, 0. This is real small. You'd want to make your feather the size you're going to engrave it on, because you don't want to enlarge or reduce something that's been photograved. But see, this thing is less than an inch, so we're going to set our nudge factor on 2 inches. And we're going to take one of them and move them out of the way. And so here's our other item. We need to get rid of this. Now it's a black bubble or black dots. So everything that's not touched will be black because we're doing black granite, but I don't want any of this touched. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this right here. And normally when I go to trace bitmap, but it's such a weird fuzzy deal, I'm going to go low quality. I tried a while ago and clip art just didn't work. Group by color and say, okay. It's going to take 10, 15 seconds to run it. And since we grouped it by color, we're going to be able to delete some of these colors. Now I'm going to say okay, and I'm going to move that out of the way. So there's our traced one. I'm going to go up to Object and Group and ungroup it. I'm going to go up here to these lighter colored feathers and look what it's doing. It doesn't have to be perfect. It got rid of some of those feathers, so I'm going to back up here, maybe back up twice. I need those feathers. If that other happened, let me back up some more. Yeah, those feathers are okay. We can deal with that in a second. But I can't get rid of these colors. You know what we could do? See, all these colors are kind of connected. Let's try this. Let's try taking this color and nudging it over, this color, nudge it over twice, this color, nudge it over 3 times, and this one I think we can delete. Now I'm going to go ahead and nudge that other last one over more. We need all these colors. So I'm going to select them, go up to Object, and ungroup them. See if I can, I'm going to go to Object. I'm going to, you know what, I normally do not do this, but I'm going to ungroup them all. I'm going to see what happens. Go up to Object, Group, and ungroup all. Let's see what happens when we just move that over. It looks better. Ungroup all. This is a little bit unorthodox. You shouldn't really have to do it, but those feathers are so light, and I don't need this other part. Object, Group, and ungroup. See, we got the majority of the feathers. I'm going to go ahead and delete all this stuff. Now, I'm going to check for trash and don't really have any. Now what I can do, there's 2 ways I can do this. The bounding box comes up, so I'm going to put a boundary around it. Of course, it's having to think because it's going inside quite a bit. And then I'm going to move that out of the way. That's almost perfect. We can always play with it. I'm going to make it a color. I'm actually going to take away the outline. I'm going to bring it back to my photo engrave item. I'm going to select it all, and I'm going to go intersect. Look at that. Now my feather has no white box. See, we have just, and because this is on black granite, now you could still get those other feathers back. What we could do, let's just do this. Take this blue and just take these nodes and just bring them up, and then bring these down and just kind of play with it. Now, and see, there is a crease in there. We don't necessarily, let's see of the original picture. Well, I guess I deleted it. Yeah, it's got some creases in there, so you don't want to mess around with it too much. But see, we've got some pretty good coverage. You could always move these nodes out and get more of the feather. And, kind of like redefine it or rejoin it, because everything you move up here is going to be the feather now. I mean, look at this right here that we can move up. And you could take your time. Now, let's select all this, and you could do the same thing to the sides. Let's just do this. Let's just delete those. Let's delete that. Here's a good trick. Get these 2 nodes. I got 3 of them. We'll shift select that one, shift select that one, right click and turn it into a line. Now you probably wouldn't want a line on this feather, but that's pretty good. And you could do that all the way down. And now since we did that to the blue, we can take this all and go to intersect again. And now look at it. We have that corner feather that we lost. Now I saw this line in the original picture. It's almost like the feather's been split. So I don't know about that. That might just be the quill and might add some something to it. Anyway, so this would be your one for your black granite. So you're going to have to do that. And the good thing about it, you could use the one feather for the wood one or for the brass one and just go back to Photograph and redo it, and you could actually use the same blue bounding box or blue cover to bring in the next one. Anyway, I hope that helped a little bit, and thank you for watching.